Hi, welcome to Kit to Craft. And if you're seeing this, it's because you've purchased one of our kits. And today we're going to be doing the Snowman Ornament. So let's start by unpacking our kit. And you should have a styrofoam ball, and then you have your yarn and hat, and you have your ribbon, embellishment, nose, and buttons. And we've also included a craft stick for those who don't want to touch the hot glue. You are also going to need a glue gun, and we advise you find some sort of paper or paper plate or something you can set that on to protect your surface. This yarn can tend to unravel a little once it's cut, so we just want to make sure it was safe for packaging and it didn't come unraveled. So I'm going to cut the knot off as opposed to trying to untie it. So we're going to take a little bit of glue and put it at the top of your styrofoam. And then we're going to just lay the end across here. And here's where you might be using that craft stick instead of your finger. I'm working clockwise with mine. So we're going to start by just putting a little glue along the yarn. And I'm working in small increments at first just to get started. So now you'll see I've completed like a little U. And this is going to be the part that's under the hat. So we're going to just do a little section. You'll see I'm placing the glue up against the yarn, and then I'm just lightly laying that over it, and then I pat it down a little bit. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is that when you're gluing this, you're not just putting the glue right up against the previous row of yarn, but you're also making sure that there's no gaps between your rows of yarn. Otherwise, you'll be able to see the styrofoam. If you have a little space, you can still put your glue gun down in there and kind of close it up. It's very easy to fix, even when you're done with the whole thing. As you're getting more towards the other end of the ball, you're going to want to be careful. Don't pull on the yarn. In fact, none of it you should be pulling on the yarn because you're more likely to have spaces between your rows. So you'll see how I'm actually now kind of treating this like it's the top. And I do the glue. And then I just sort of lay that over there and push into the previous row. So you'll see the section that's still showing is getting smaller here, and now I'm going to kind of shorten my segments just a little. Again, you're pushing the yarn into the glue and the previous row. Now, since I'm really close to the end, I'm going to cut off most of this excess, so I don't have to deal with as much. And you're still going to be trimming it again, but I'm going to do that. I just kind of filled up that little spot and push that in. And there we go. You have your snowball. All right, your hat is pre-strung with the little hanger here, and you're going to put glue around the inside of the hat, and we're going to just put it on here. I did try to keep it kind of even with the rows, but you don't have to do that. You could have it. All right, now you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to find a spot and just put a little bit of glue. We're going to get this started. Put the end of the glue right there. Now, as you're doing this, you just put some of either a very fine line of glue, which is what I'm doing, or just some little dots. I am hardly squeezing the glue gun because I really don't want to have a ton in there. I'm going to put a little more thing of glue right there. You can see how I do that. I do have a little section that was sticking out. I didn't tell it glued. I don't need to glue that again. You can do one of two things. You can put your embellishment right on the crease, or you can put the crease in the back. I like to put mine on the crease because then you can't see where it came together. So put some glue there. A little flower goes right there. Hold it. All right. It was easier for me to kind of judge where to put the eyes and the nose if I put, or the eyes and the mouth if I put the nose in first. So it doesn't really matter which order you do this in. I want my flower to be off to the side. So I'll kind of figure out, I want my nose to be right about here. So now, and the buttons, they're not all the same, but we did try to make sure there were two that were slightly larger that you could use for the eyes. Lay my button. All right, a little glue came through the holes in the buttons. That's fine. You can just take your craft stick or your fingernail or whatever and remove that. All right, so we're going to put the other eye on. Great it is. All right, so now we have the eyes and the nose, your hat done. Now, this I'm going to recommend when you're doing the mouth, we're going to start and just put the two buttons that would go right under the nose. I'm going to put that on, and then we're going to put that one on. I do this because it helps me center the mouth, and then I make a little dot of glue a little bit higher because we want our snowman to smile. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Put a little bit of glue. And I did have some glue that came through the buttonholes down below the nose, and I just kind of scratched off the glue. So there we go. That is our snowman. You can hang him up. You can hang him on a tree, window, whatever you'd like.
Doorknob.
Yep. So we will, there we go.